Welcome to Soralaw, where we dig deep into the most chilling true crime stories, unraveling the complex webs of lies and deceit that lead to unimaginable acts of violence. Today we venture into the quiet village of Swanley in Kent, England, a place where everyone knows everyone, and life moves at a slower pace. But on a cold October night in 2012, this peaceful community was rocked by the brutal murder of a young woman. Sarah Henderson was vibrant, full of life, and had her whole future ahead of her. What happened to Sarah is a story of betrayal, manipulation, and a twisted plot that left everyone reeling. As we unravel the layers of this case, be prepared for shocking twists and revelations that will keep you on the edge of your seat. This is the story of Sarah Henderson. It was the early hours of October 4, 2012, when a young man walked into the Bexley Heath police station. Dressed in dark trousers and a jacket, his face and hands stained with blood, he approached the front desk with a chilling admission. "I think I've killed someone," he said, his voice flat and emotionless. The man, later identified as 23-year-old Adam Wilkes, provided the officers with a location in the nearby village of Swanley, where he claimed to have slashed a woman's neck and left her to die. The officers at Bexley Heath were taken aback by the young man's calm demeanor as he detailed the horrific crime. He was quickly taken into an interview room, where he provided more information about the incident. Meanwhile, the Kent police, already dealing with the discovery of a young woman's body in Swanley village, were contacted and informed of Adam's confession. It didn't take long for the pieces to fall into place. Adam's chilling account matched the details of the murder scene. Just a few hours earlier, at 11:18 p.m. on October 3rd, an emergency call had come into 999 from a distressed passerby in Swanley village. "I'm in Swanley village, and there's a girl lying at the side of the road," the caller reported, their voice trembling. "She appears to be unconscious." The operator immediately dispatched paramedics to the scene, urging the caller to check if the woman was breathing and to roll her onto her back. The caller hesitated, clearly shaken by the sight before them, but eventually followed the operator's instructions. "She's bleeding from her neck," the caller said, their voice cracking with fear. "There's blood everywhere." Despite their best efforts, when the paramedics arrived, they found the young woman had already succumbed to her injuries. Pronounced dead at 11:30 p.m., the woman had multiple stab wounds to her body and neck. She was dressed in a vest, shorts, and a dressing gown, with 2 slippers found nearby. As dawn broke over Swanley village, the once tranquil community was transformed into a crime scene. Police sealed off the area and began the painstaking task of collecting evidence. Forensic dogs were brought in to trace the woman's last steps, and what they discovered painted a heartbreaking picture. The attack had likely started in the middle of an isolated road, where a trail of blood zigzagged for nearly 150 meters, showing that the victim had staggered, trying desperately to escape her attacker. The small village of Swanley was in shock. News of the murder spread quickly, with neighbors gathering in hushed groups, trying to make sense of the horrific event that had shattered their peace. The police, aware of the growing unease, worked tirelessly to identify the victim and notify her family before rumors and misinformation could take hold. By morning, police were working to identify the victim and notify her family before the news spread through the small village. The task was made difficult as she had no identification on her, only a set of keys. Her body was still warm when found, indicating that the murder had occurred shortly before the passerby discovered her. Meanwhile, just a few miles away, Adele Henderson woke up at 6:20 a.m. and noticed something unusual. Her daughter, Sarah Henderson, wasn't in her room. Adele's husband, Michael, reassured her that their 23-year-old daughter was likely staying at a friend's or her sister Gemma's house. But Adele's maternal instincts told her something was wrong. She remembered that Sarah had gone out the previous evening in her pajamas and dressing gown, after a man she had been seeing had come to pick her up. Unable to shake her growing sense of dread, Adele called 999 and reported her daughter missing, explaining that Sarah would never leave without telling someone where she was going. Adele described Sarah's appearance and the clothes she was wearing when she left the house. By 7:30 a.m., an officer was at the Hendersons' door with news that no parent should ever have to hear a body matching Sarah's description had been found, and they believed it was their daughter, the officers' words hit Adele and Michael like a ton of bricks. They were told that their daughter had been murdered and that the police had someone in custody. The reality of the situation was almost too much to bear. The Hendersons were a close-knit family, and Sarah's loss was a devastating blow. Sarah Henderson was the younger of 2 daughters born to Adele and Michael. After leaving school, she worked at a fast food restaurant, where she was known for her outgoing and bubbly personality. Her older sister, Gemma, described Sarah as vivacious and mischievous, and the two were more than just siblings, they were best friends. Sarah had a wide circle of friends and a deep love for music, often blasting her favorite tunes at full volume in her bedroom. Her mother fondly recalled catching Sarah using multiple devices at once: her landline, mobile phone, and computer, just to keep up with all her friends. Michelle, one of Sarah's closest friends, described her as 1 in a million and the best friend anyone could ask for. But beneath her cheerful exterior, Sarah had recently gone through a difficult breakup, ending a long-term relationship in early 2012. It was during this time that she met Adam Wilkes at a pub through mutual friends. Their relationship started off promisingly, with Adam appearing to bring some much-needed happiness back into Sarah's life. However, unbeknownst to Sarah, Adam was cruelly mocking her behind her back, making derogatory comments about her weight and appearance to his friends. As the investigation continued, the police began to piece together the events leading up to Sarah's murder. On the evening of October 3rd, Sarah had been working a quiet shift at the restaurant. She was able to leave an hour early and was home by 10 p.m. She told her mother that Adam was picking her up to make plans for the next day. After taking a quick shower, Sarah left the house in her pajamas and dressing gown to meet Adam outside. With Adam Wilkes in custody, the police began to unravel the sequence of events that led to Sarah's murder. Adam claimed that Sarah had attacked him first, but the evidence suggested otherwise. Surveillance footage showed Adam at a pub earlier in the evening with a friend named Tom. After Adam was arrested, Tom was also brought in for questioning. Tom revealed that on the night of Sarah's murder, he had been hiding in the boot of Adam's car, a bizarre detail that caught investigators' attention. Tom initially claimed he was in the boot because Adam had told him that Sarah had people after him and that he needed protection. But under further questioning, Tom admitted that Adam had coerced him into getting into the boot to spy on Sarah. Tom's clothes were tested for blood, but none was found, clearing him of direct involvement in the murder. However, the investigation took a new turn when detectives uncovered a series of text messages exchanged between Adam, Tom, and another acquaintance, Matthew Ellis. The messages revealed a disturbing plot orchestrated by Adam, with Tom and Matthew as his unwitting accomplices. Adam had been manipulating both of them, playing on their insecurities and convincing them to go along with his plan. And one message, sent just days before the murder, Adam had written, "Everything is set. Tom will be in the boot, and Matthew will follow us to make sure no one gets suspicious." Another message from Matthew to Adam read, "I can't believe we're really doing this. You're sure she won't see me?" Adam's reply was chilling, "She won't see anything. Just stick to the plan." The messages painted a horrifying picture of a premeditated murder, with Adam at the center of it all. But as detectives dug deeper, they discovered that Adam had an even darker motive. He had been seeing another woman, Claire, behind Sarah's back, and was desperate to get rid of Sarah without jeopardizing his new relationship. On the night of the murder, Adam had lured Sarah into his car under the pretense of making plans for the next day. With Tom hiding in the boot and Matthew following close behind, Adam drove to a secluded spot in Swanley Village. Once they arrived, Adam attacked Sarah, stabbing her repeatedly while Tom and Matthew watched from a distance. After the brutal murder, Adam discarded Sarah's phone and other belongings, making it look like a robbery gone wrong. But the final twist came when detectives uncovered evidence that Claire had been aware of Adam's plan all along. In a series of text messages between Claire and Adam, she expressed her frustration with Sarah and urged Adam to take care of it. Claire had even sent Adam a message on the night of the murder, asking, "Is it done?" To which Adam replied, "Yes. It's over." When confronted with the evidence, Claire tried to downplay her involvement, claiming she thought Adam was just venting and never expected him to go through with it. But the messages told a different story, and Claire was arrested as an accessory to murder. As the trial of Adam Wilkes approached, the prosecution believed they had a solid case. But just when they thought they had all the answers, another twist emerged that would turn the case on its head. During the pre-trial preparations, detectives received an anonymous tip that led them to revisit the evidence. A forensic re-examination of Sarah's belongings revealed a fingerprint on her discarded phone that didn't match Adam, Tom, or Matthew. The print belonged to an individual who had not been previously connected to the case, a man named Liam Walker, who lived in a neighboring village. Liam Walker was known to the police for his involvement in petty crimes and had a reputation as a troublemaker. But what startled the detectives was his connection to Claire. Liam and Claire had dated briefly before Claire began seeing Adam, and their breakup had been anything but amicable. The discovery of Liam's fingerprint raised a disturbing possibility. Had Liam been involved in the murder? Detectives brought Liam in for questioning, but he denied any involvement in Sarah's murder. He claimed he hadn't seen Claire in months and had no reason to harm Sarah. But when detectives dug into Liam's phone records, they found several calls between him and Claire in the weeks leading up to the murder, including a call on the night Sarah was killed. Under intense questioning, Liam's story began to unravel. He admitted that Claire had contacted him, asking for his help to scare Sarah off. Claire had told Liam that Sarah was obsessed with Adam and wouldn't leave him alone, even though Adam wanted to be with Claire. Liam, still harboring feelings for Claire, agreed to help, thinking it would win her back. On the night of the murder, Liam followed Adam's car to Swanley Village, staying out of sight while Adam confronted Sarah. But things quickly escalated. According to Liam, when Sarah tried to leave, Adam attacked her in a fit of rage. Liam panicked and tried to intervene, but by then, it was too late. Sarah was already gravely injured. Fearing he would be implicated, Liam fled the scene, leaving behind the phone that would later connect him to the crime. Liam's confession added a new layer of complexity to the case. It became clear that the murder was not just the result of Adam's twisted manipulation, but also a consequence of Claire's cold-hearted manipulation of Liam. The prosecution now had to build a case that included both Adam and Claire as the masterminds behind Sarah's murder, with Liam as their unwitting accomplice. The trial of Adam Wilkes, Claire, and Liam Walker was a media sensation, with the courtroom packed every day as the horrifying details of the murder were laid bare. Adam, who had initially claimed self-defense, was now facing overwhelming evidence of his guilt. Claire, who had tried to distance herself from the crime, was exposed as the manipulative force behind the plot. Liam, who had hoped to avoid serious charges, now found himself facing the full weight of the law. The prosecution painted a chilling picture of the events leading up to Sarah's murder. They argued that Adam, driven by a desire to rid himself of Sarah, had conspired with Claire and manipulated Tom and Matthew into assisting him. Claire, resentful of Sarah's relationship with Adam, had enlisted Liam to help carry out the plan, believing it would remove Sarah from their lives for good. The jury listened in stunned silence as the prosecution presented the messages between Adam, Claire, and Liam, showing how the three had conspired to kill Sarah. They heard how Liam, desperate to win back Claire's affection, had followed Adam to the scene of the crime, only to find himself caught up in a murder he never intended to commit. Adam's defense team tried to argue that he had been coerced by Claire, who they portrayed as the true mastermind. But the jury was not swayed. After just 6 hours of deliberation, they returned with their verdicts. Adam Wilkes was found guilty of first-degree murder and sentenced to life in prison with a minimum term of 35 years. Claire was convicted of conspiracy to commit murder and sentenced to 25 years in prison. Liam Walker, who had cooperated with the investigation, received a reduced sentence of 15 years for his role in the crime. Tom and Matthew, who had been drawn into the plot by Adam's manipulations, were convicted of lesser charges. Tom was sentenced to 10 years in prison for his involvement, while Matthew received a 5-year sentence. The tragic murder of Sarah Henderson is a stark reminder of how easily trust can be betrayed and how jealousy and manipulation can lead to unthinkable acts. For Sarah's family, the pain of losing her will never fade, but they find some solace in knowing that justice has been served. Here at Sora Law, we strive to bring you the stories that reveal the darkest sides of human nature and the complex motivations behind heinous crimes. If this case has intrigued you, be sure to subscribe to our channel and hit the notification bell so you won't miss our next investigation. In the end, the case of Sarah Henderson shows us that sometimes, the real danger lies not in strangers, but in the people we think we know best.